Guys, I'm back. Now, here's the thing, guys. Now, just now, one of the most annoying things happened. My iPad storage. I recorded this video a little bit earlier. My iPad storage, because I'm managing my YouTube channel at the moment on an iPad. Stupid iPod storage was full, so I had to go delete a lot of stuff. I had to go delete a lot of videos I've made on photos. I had to go delete a bunch of apps that I just didn't find of any use. And I had to do all of that so I could just so I could make this video, and I'm probably going to have to go find a way to make videos. Anyway, so I'm going to try and get through this story as somewhat quickly as possible. Now, quick reminder, or quick noticer. This story is fake. Now, I remember I told you a story earlier, not very long ago, about I told you another story how my neighbor basically stabbed our dog, one of our little dogs. Yeah, well, that was a real dream. Now, that was a real dream. This is a fake story about a fake dream. Now, this is basically a story about a fake dream. This never happened, alright? Not a dream, alright? I feel like even if I said this was a dream, of course you wouldn't believe it if it was real. But if I said this was a dream, you'd probably be like, "Are you sure this is real?" Anyway, so let's just get on with the dream. We start off in the dream at our school, right? Now, this school in particular is pretty big. Now, we're just laughing, joking. We're walking down the hallway to get out of the school. We're walking not too fast. I'm like, "Hey, you know planets? Do you know how planets calculate their money system?" And they're like, "How?" And I'm like, "Starbucks." Oh, it's funny joke, and then we start laughing like, haha, so funny. Anyway, I'm there. So another tall dude is there. A short chubby dude is there. My best friend is there. Who's basically the same, a little bit older than me, but shorter than me. And then my crush is there. Now, I'm gonna say that in this dream, these are technically real people in this dream. Well, not like the people I know, but they're just in the dream right now, or you get that part. Anyway, so we're traveling, right? But then, as soon before we get to the exit/entrance to the building, everything goes black, and we're like, "Oh, what happened? What happened?" And then, like, the lights went out, and then they come back on, but they don't really. They're kind of dimmed lights, like they seem dimmed. But the thing was, we couldn't see from very far. Like, we could see a good 15 to 20 feet ahead of us, and then it's just pure black. Of course, if we moved ahead, the more we move, the more we can see, and then behind us becomes blackness where we move away from. Anyway, we're looking, and then we're just like, what is going on? But when we get to the main entrance of the building, it's barricaded by wood, and we're like, wait, what? We go and then look at like the kind of entrance to the main backyard is also barricaded by wood, and we notice that almost every exit and window to the outside is barricaded. Everything else isn't barricaded, but every possible way to leave the school is barricaded by wooden things. And if we look out, but the thing is, and there's no one else in the school. It's just me and the other 4 kids. In fact, if we look outside of the window, cause like we could kind of see through the wooden bars, we could see this car. So it's like, it's not like we're probably in a different dimension, but there's people outside it. So it's like, maybe in the school we're in a different dimension, but then outside is just regular life, and we didn't really know. Maybe we were just in our own dimension, but anyway. So yeah, we're just there. We went to a bunch of different places where we thought we could find a bunch of different exits, a bunch of different classrooms, and we couldn't find anything. But then all of a sudden, we went into a science room. Now, in the dream, our school had made a hybrid animal. Alright, it's called King Cobra Conda. What is the king cobra conda, you ask? It's an animal that's a mix between a king cobra and an anaconda. Of course, it's the size of a green anaconda, and it has the bite of a king cobra, making for a deadly animal, right? But then there's another hybrid, made from the king cobra conda. Well, it's a mix between the king cobra conda and a cockroach. Now, this thing was not messing around. See, this thing was an armored snake, basically. It was armored snake with little parts of its body having legs. Not like it had its whole body having legs like a centipede. It was just some parts of its body had little legs to give it that creepy feeling. And unlike regular king cobras, it could eject its, like, you know how king cobras have those frills that are always out? Well, this snake in particular could eject those frills, so it doesn't always have those frills activated or out. And it had the armor of a cockroach. Now, you may not know this, but cockroaches are very tough, like, for their size. Like, a cockroach has the potential to survive a nuclear bomb. Yep, a nuclear bomb. So this thing is pretty tough to have that kind of armor. And it had somewhat of the strength of a beetle. If you don't know, beetles can lift, like, way heavier than themselves. Like, some even go, like, hundreds of times their own weight. And some, only, like, one of them, like, has reached, like, 1,000 times its weight. But anyway, this thing had this kind of strength of a beetle. So we were, then we're like, wait, why are we paying attention to whatever science experiment this is? None of these science experiments explain as to why we're in this school and there's barely any lights or barely anything, really. And it didn't really look like the school was abandoned, because there was all there was just a bunch of scratch marks in the school, just like a bunch of scratch marks, but a lot of the desks and things were set up organized, so it's just like, what is going on? But so then we went to the main entrance of the building. We're kicking at the freaking wooden bars, waiting for them to break open. But then all of a sudden we hear a voice saying, it's like, it said, you really are good, you're really good kids, but now you must die. And then we're like, who? What? Then we're looking at each other, wondering if one of each other said that. I'm like, did you say that? No. It's like, no, did you say it? Like, and then I'm like, okay, guys. Let's all stand in a circle, and if we hear that voice again, we're most likely going to see one of each other. So we stand in a circle, looking at each other, right? We're just like, And then, out of nowhere, we hear this voice saying, It is time for me to eat my lunch. And then we looked at each other for, like, as soon as it said that, we were looking at each other and we're like, oh God, that was not us saying that. And then, somehow, out of nowhere, from the ground, like, we were on the bottom floors, but, like, from the ground, came out a huge thing. And this wasn't a regular animal. This is the king cobra conda roach. See, the name of this dream, this fake dream, remember it's fake. I haven't mentioned it earlier, because I'm actually kind of forgetting a lot of this. It's called King Cobra, The Curse of the King Cobra Conda Roach. Yeah, King Cobra Conda Roach. And it's not a very pleasant dream. Or animal, I tell you. Now this king cobra conda roach, which is the mix between a king cobra and an anaconda and a cockroach. Now this thing was huge, though. It wasn't like the size of this thing was huge. It was like we were seeing what was basically like the front of it, but it was huge, and I'm like, how big are you? And it answered. Surprisingly, it answered, so it basically knew English. But it answered with a terrifying freaking thing. it said 120 feet long. It said that so confident. Now, it's not normal for an animal to get that big. Even the blue whale is like 100, like on average reaches 90, a little bit over 98 feet long. This thing was like 10 feet longer than the biggest animal on Earth. Now, of course, it's not exactly the biggest animal, because it's not like the widest, but what? And the problem is that this thing, from the science lab, we remember, it could spit poison, but not any poison. This poison was so poisonous it could literally melt through a lot of stuff. And it said, "Ready to enjoy some lunch?" And then we's like, "Nope." And then we run. We freaking dash for the other hallways. But just while we're dashing, it comes from in front of us and it says, "Where do you think you're going?" So then we like, oh, time to go the other way. And then running the other way, it doesn't. And then it comes down from the roof. It's like, "Oh, you idiot! So you really think you're gonna get away that easy?" And then like, ooh, and we turn the other way, and then we're just constantly trying to get away from this thing. Eventually, we go up the stairs to the upstairs, and then we're there. But the problem was, this animal was following us. Now, we didn't know what was going on because, like, of course, we could only see like 20 feet ahead of us before everything's pitch black. So this thing had a clear advantage, but then it started. While we were upstairs, it started like poking like its tail like through like the floor we were on, and then we realized it created a huge crack around us, and then the floor collapsed, and well, we fell down, of course, to the first floor, and I'm like, let's not go to the second floor again. Anyway, but then this animal, or this crazy snake, starts like coming out walls. It's like traveling in between walls, like from one wall, trying to bite us, and then if it misses, it just goes to the next, and then starts digging underground. And what's annoying is, it never left any holes for us to get out of the school. While it's slithering and kind of crawling all over. Hey, here's one point. Where it came out, right? And we're like, you're not, nope, we're staying away. Then it spat its acid at one of us. I think it was the short, chubby kid. And he melted away. And we ran away even farther. And then we made the stupidest mistake. We went upstairs again, hoping nothing bad would happen, but it used acid on the floor we were on. And at that point, we're just like, oh god, we need to find the nearest staircase. And then it stopped. And again, it's traveling through walls, coming down from like the roof down below us, and it's just like traveling through all these spaces. At this point, I jump from the second floor to get out of there, but of course, it's boarded off. But then all of a sudden, we made it downstairs and we're running around, but then the snake just comes out from the ground, and unluckily, one of our friends was right on the spot of ground where he came up and ate our friend whole. Great, another friend gone. And then it started like kind of trying to bite us. So it tried to bite me, missed, but it didn't go underground. It just like missed and kind of like swooped down and then just came right back up. And it had eaten some of the ground and ate the ground it had just bitten. But we're still running though. And then something annoying happens. My best friend, the giant snake, came from the side of the wall and bit her and grabbed her and lifted her up high into the sky and crunched so hard. Yeah, she was a goner. And this one, it's just me and my crush. I'm like, what the hell are we gonna do? And then she said, And then she put her finger up and she's like, she put it up on our face like this. And I'm like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna die. We're gonna die. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna. And then she just straight up says, shush. We gotta make this out alive. I'm like, okay. Okay. We gotta go. So then we're running, right? And eventually, we cornered ourselves by running into a room, and it's the King Cobra Condor Roach was at the door, and then I'm saying, like, start saying things, like, you know how sometimes when people are, like, in a moment where they're about to die, or they feel like they're about to die, so they start saying, like, sharing kind of private things. Yeah, that's what we kind of did. She's like, I have a sassy attitude and I never like to expel it. I don't know why she said that. And then I'm like, I've always had a crush on you. And then she's just like, and then I'm like, what I thought we were sharing our whatever. And then it missed. Somehow it tried to bite us and missed, and we got out of that room. Still no holes out of the school for some odd reason. Anyway, we're running around, still like, oh my god, is this snake gonna go away? Lord freaking golly. So, now I'm like, wait, maybe we could do some of those science experiments in the science labs. And then, me and her gather up a bunch of stuff, right? Dangerous stuff. We got out some poison and shoot, waiting for the snake. And then it started crawling, like, and then started crawling from the school. And this school, pretty long school, but it started crawling towards us, slithering and crawling towards us. And it says, lunch is here. And then tried to bite us, but nah, man. See, what happened was we had a trick of our own. We threw a bunch of like science experiments in its mouth, and it blew up in its mouth. Yeah, blew up. And it said, it's too spicy. Oh, get away from me. You are too spicy to eat. Well, it wasn't really Japanese, but he said we were too spicy to eat, left. And then all of a sudden, everything didn't go dark. Everything lit up in white. And I'm like, oh, good, what happened? And then me and her woke up. Or, well, like, we kind of found ourselves back at the school where we were in the nightmare, but we were in the school regularly. It was no longer boarded up. There was no longer anything bad. It was just back to normal. We went outside the school, and we were happy. Like, we had just basically escaped something of the impossible, and, well, she is, and then, well, let's just say me and her kind of, after all, she was my crush. I'm just gonna say it, we, Kay and I with 2 snakes. Yep. And like we didn't just do it normally though, like it's just like I fell down to the ground and I'm literally like, yes, and I laid down on my back. I'm like, time to relax. Of course she got on me, like she literally like stood on me, and then of course that's when the smooch happened. And we both enjoyed it. But anyway, we got up, happy of ourselves, what just happened, and yeah, there you go. Okay, yep, I already know. That was fake dream, alright. Now, there you go. That's my fake dream. There you go. Hope you guys enjoyed. Shut up, Siri. Ugh. Does anyone else find Siri, like, obnoxiously annoying? Let's see here. Some of you are probably thinking, now here's the thing, right? I'm gonna say something about myself. For a while, well, actually not that long, kind of like, this has only been a thing for me, like, for a few days. I've wanted to be an animator. Because I like the thought of, like, making up my own stories and making animation. Because, like, personally, for me, I never really knew what my hobby was until, like, recently when I got into, like, thinking of my own stories. And I realized, from, like, or in my opinion, and somewhat from my family's opinion, I was actually a pretty good, like, story writer for, like, a story. And so I kind of want to make animations. Of course, I'm not, like, the best animator, but hey. And here's the thing, though, right? Now, the thing is, the app I use for animating is pretty, like, it's okay for, say, a mobile app, animating app, but if you want, like, it's not good for real animation. But, thankfully, I actually managed to, wait. Trying to think. I actually managed to. Well, here's the thing, right? Is like making animations, like making an animated. I know this is kind of off topic for the video, but I just want to say this. Making animations ain't just like a thing you can just like. Oh, I'm gonna be an animator. This is gonna be easy. It's not easy to be an animator. See, being an animator requires time and effort. Which means you have to take your time and put your effort into it both at the same time. See, animations require a few things. If like in order, or like animated movies require a good amount of things. One, what kind of the characters, like what kind of characters are they? Two, what genre your animation is, and three, music for your animation. And see, here's the thing, right, about this is it's kind of hard for me because I have a hard time taking my time. See, I'm very impatient. Whenever I work on an animation, not very long ago, I've literally tried to make, like, animations that would go, like, pretty long and that aren't just, like, 1 frame per second things. But the thing is, they turn out so bad because I'm so impatient. And my animation skills are also lacking because I'm not exactly good at making models. Like animating, I can't just draw a model. I can't draw a good looking model. Like I'll draw something that looks really good, and then I'll just draw something that looks absolute trash. Anyway, let's see here though. And one of the main problems is I cannot write a song to save my life. See, here's the thing. We don't have any instruments. I mean, we used to have a guitar, don't know where that is, and we're stuck with a piano. Now, this piano we have can play, like, other instruments, like, sounds from other instruments, but, like, it's not very good. It's not like we can play, like, full-on, like, orchestra type thing. It's, like, it's just not easy. So, like, the thing about making music is it sucks. It's, like, I need to literally, like, find out how to make music. Like, either I'd have to make music on an app. I could have me and my family make music through instruments, but in order to do that, like, to make a good song, you need, like, a lot of instruments, and, instruments ain't... Some instruments are pretty cheap, but then there's instruments that are, like, just expensive. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this story time. Peace.